All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you to Mercy Crest and Cindy for hosting, providing lunch for us. You guys feel free to go ahead and get your food as we're getting started. Our speaker today is Colonel Nicholas I.D. Matrix, and he's going to be coming here in just a second and giving y'all a presentation. I wanted to remind y'all of a couple things. Our next Senior Care Alliance General Meeting is June 25th at Brookdale. Mandy's going to be doing a presentation about dementia. Our next coffee talk coming up is going to be at Midtown June 10th at 11. So with that being said, y'all please give our Colonel a hand here and let him go ahead and get started. Thank you so much.
Thank you, no problem. First off, thanks for having me. I literally thought I was coming in to speak to the elderly folks, so this is a welcome surprise. So all the young folks that are here in the crowd, I appreciate it. Obviously, diverse backgrounds. I'm taking it Mercy, Baptist, all combined. Is that true? And then senior care comes together. Like real quick, give me a breakdown of how that works.
Yeah, we're from all different places, post-acute services,
Yep.
inpatient services, or hospice, non-skilled, rehab, Sam's Club,
Okay.
UAS education,
Insurance
companies, a funeral home over there.
Okay.
Yep. So,
The community.
Our goal is to get resources out to our senior citizens in the area.
Okay.
And you are Facebook Live, just so you know.
Okay.
So we have people that watch and educate.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I'm trying to think how this relates, but I'll give you guys an update anyway. I don't think it relates to what's the incoming, because I don't think we have an elderly crowd coming in based on the families and the foreign portions they're coming in. Anyway, I'm the 85th Fighter Group Commander. I am out at Ebbing, but I'm not the guard. I'm the active duty. So the 188th Arkansas State Mission is still MQ-9 drones, much like you guys have known for the last 10 years before the A-10s went away, and then 14 years when the F-16s went away. So that hasn't changed. They still do that mission. I and the 85th do all the F-35 missions. So I'm in charge of the foreign military sales, aircraft training that's in here to train foreign pilots how to fly the F-35. They're not bringing a lot of their extended families and grandparents or anything like that, so that's why I don't know the relationship on this part, but I think it's still informative for you all to know as community members and obviously healthcare providers. I work a lot with Mercy and Orion Gehrig as the CEO. I work a lot with Jeff Carrier as the president of Baptist around here at Fort Smith and Van Buren. So I'm very familiar on the inner workings of the healthcare hospital side at the higher levels. Not necessarily in the niche portion of the elderly care and senior portion that comes in. But I'm interested to hear at the end of this what you guys think and how it plays into it overall. I'll give you guys the update. That's me. That's a whole bunch of patches that you don't care about. Here's exactly, as a good Air Force officer, what I'm going to tell you about, and I'll open it up with a video, okay? Can everyone see that or not? video was just played 2 weeks ago. We had the initial operational capability ceremony that basically was a celebration of having the first Polish pilots go through and graduate. They're already back on their way to being instructors, down doing simulator training back in Eglin, Destin, Florida, if you guys visit down there. But overall, huge milestones that are happening on a regular basis here. It's not just talk anymore. You guys hear the jets on a regular basis around 9ish and 1:30 every day. And then, we have a whole bunch more jets, and I'll kind of talk through that and how those are coming out and how we're growing in kind of a ramp up phase. About me real quick, I'm a military brat. This is actually me as a kid. This is my dad. I look more like this now based on my hair, but that's fine. I moved around. I moved 24 times in my life. I did 13 schools, K through 12. My brother did 3 high schools. I did 3 high schools. My sister did 4 high schools. So I would say pretty much adaptable to any community. But my family on your right there moved to Fort Smith in July of 2024. Yeah, 2024. So we've been here almost a year, coming up on 10, 11 months. And it's been the best move that we've had, to tell you the truth. The warmth and inviting way that Fort Smith welcomed my family and welcomed our mission overall to the community has been nothing short of amazing. Thank Fort Smith Chamber, who you guys probably know most of these people, but Tanya Sarles, Tim Allen, as far as the chamber president goes, and then Amanda Sanders, who now works for me. Is how Cindy ended up getting this me briefing here, but the ability of the town to open up its arms has existed for a long time. For how many people are like 20 or 30 years or more in Fort Smith? Okay, some. Yeah, about all the way back to the Vietnam era. Just so you guys know, Fort Smith opened their arms to Vietnamese refugees during that time frame. And the Vietnamese community has thrived here ever since then. We have felt that same opening of arms for the Poland folks that have already come in. We will quickly have Finland training coming up in the beginning of next year. Germany is after that. Singapore is a long-term player, so think 15 to 20 years that they'll be here. And they show up in the fall of 2026 with some slightly different jets that I'll talk to you, and they're going to bring the F-16s that you guys are so used to hearing 14 years ago back to Fort Smith. They actually were just at this ceremony with an F-16 tail that had FS on it, so what you're used to. They understand the history and the homage here of what Fort Smith had prior with F-16. So during that ceremony, they flew 2 aircraft in from Phoenix, Arizona, and put FS on the tail just to pay homage to Fort Smith, knowing that they're going to be here in the summer of 27 with the whole F-16 squadron. After Singapore, you've got Switzerland, Czech Republic, Greece, and Romania are kind of like the stint of Eastern European bloc countries, and Singapore is the outlier that are coming to Fort Smith right now. I expect the country list to grow probably down the line, and I don't foresee this mission stopping anytime soon, well into the 2030s and even into 2040s. So great for Fort Smith and the growth. Maybe eventually people will get old and you guys will get to take care of them down the line, like myself.
We take care of young people.
Okay, all right. Rehab and stuff, you're right. The middle picture down there is me and an F-16, and then it's a Tulsa F-16. So I have roots back to this area. I know Tulsa's 2 hours away, but the bottom line is I went to the desert to Afghanistan with them, very attuned to their leadership and working with the Tulsa F-16 unit and another guard unit, obviously close to us. So I know they're not the River Valley, but Oklahoma type of friendship exists in that. So coming back here was good for me. And then finally, my family, Emily is a realtor with Heritage Group. And then Maddie and Charlie just finished 4th and 2nd grade at Woods Elementary, and they'll be going to 5th and 3rd at Woods next year. We couldn't be more excited. We bought a house behind Eastside Baptist. If you know the Wicklow neighborhood, before you go up on Massard, up the mountain there, Mount Hill, I guess. On the left-hand side, we bought a house. So we're all in as far as Fort Smith residents at this point. here's just kind of a concept of operations, and I'll kind of lay it out easily left to right for you. But we did have an EOC, which was just a ribbon cutting for saying that the airport was ready for training. What you guys had seen 2 years prior to that was a lengthening of the runway. So the runway went from 8,000 feet to 9,300. If you remember, there's a huge mound of dirt on the northeast side that still exists there as you taxi out with all your American Airlines flights to DFW. But we were able to lengthen the runway based on us coming, and then we also put in barrier systems. So think cables, much like on an aircraft carrier where you see them catch the cable in order to stop. We just have it for emergency procedures, not on a daily basis. But we put in the barriers at both ends of the runway as well. All that was in works with companies from around here. Think Bashir's company that many of you know did a lot of the work for that. So there's a lot of spin-off and economic development and impact into the community with the F-35 program coming in. We then brought in the first jets, so I expect full payment back from the Fort Smith community and you all. I brought you 2 F-35s December 23rd, 2024 for a Christmas present at $85 million per copy, so I expect exact payment back. Yeah, that one goes over well every time, but the bottom line is we flew them in December 23rd. And we were rolling from there. We got the first Polish students at the end of January, started flying, and we just finished up their training at the beginning of May to where they are fully qualified in an F-35 and going through the entire process. We just finished the May 9th ceremony, which you saw the video for. These numbers at the bottom just kind of mean what we're flying. So 4T4 means I fly 4 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. And you can see how it kind of grows. It's 2 turn 0, 4 turn 4. As we get over to the years that I talked about where Singapore with their F-16s show up, I then have F-16s at 8 in the morning and 6 in the afternoon, not times, but number of jets taking off, until what I'd like you to show in 28 is I'll have around 20 takeoffs in the morning and about 16 takeoffs in the afternoon. So a little bit more than the 2 and the 2 that you see now, or the 4 and the 4, okay? That's because there's more countries here at the same time. We have about 2 or 3 countries at any given time that will be here once we're full up and running. Think 2027 as far as that time frame to go. Awesome. How many people have been on the Ebbing Air National Guard base? Awesome. How many people are prior Air National Guard members, Old Guard? Thank you, sir. I have my Old Guard card here in my pocket. I came and spoke. Were you at the thing that I spoke at for the Old Guard or not? No? Okay, good. Well, you're not seeing the second same brief then. How's that? Anyway, you guys know it's a small Air National Guard base. There's not a lot on it. Normally at other large Air Force bases, we have like a commissary, which is a grocery store. We have a BX, which is like a small mall-ish type of place. And we have gas station and all sorts of stuff. Well, none of that exists on Ebbing because everything is off in the Fort Smith community. So what you can see in this is the white and the blue are what is already existed, and then we are adding the gold. So almost a 50 to 100% increase in the number of buildings that are coming into just on the campus there at Ebbing. So not a big rise to the Fort Smith proper on the areas outside of the airport. But when you start talking how small that area is and the amount of military construction ongoing, we are already finishing design reviews now for 2 simulator buildings, so 25 and 26. These are 360-degree dome simulators that have all the bells and whistles that you can imagine for us that are being built, and those will be finished in 2028 so that we can do all the simulator training here as well. Right now, students go down to Destin, Florida, Eglin, to use the Eglin Air Force Base sims, and they come back here to fly, and then they go back there to sim, and then they come back here to fly. That's kind of a little bit not the greatest way to do it, for families, especially if they bring them. So we're looking at that in 2028. It just takes so long to build these buildings that we couldn't turn the corner to get them done prior to starting training. But overall, what you see is a huge growth on Ebbing Air National Guard Base, and what that equals is a lot of subcontract stuff for Fort Smith proper, River Valley construction folks that are available to help and kind of build these things. The design review, the people who design it, the architects and the engineering firms up in Kansas City, do a great job of they make it all graphic-y and whatever, but it's probably the Fort Smith and River Valley construction folks that are actually going to do the brick and mortar putting in and putting it together down the line, which that's just economic impact overall in the Fort Smith community. A lot of words and some acronyms here that, if you went through your medical acronyms, I wouldn't know what you're talking about, much like military acronyms, but let me give you the gist. All the families are going to live off base because there's no housing on base on Air National Guard, so you can expect them to rent probably as military families, or if they're U.S. military families that will be here for 2 to 3-ish years as instructor pilots on the U.S. side, then more than likely those folks are buying houses. I bought one. We have about 6 or 7 instructors right now, and almost everyone has bought a house in Fort Smith or Van Buren is kind of where we have gone so far. The foreign families, though, here are only here for about a year. They're not here for an extended 3-year period. Think of my goal is to train them to be instructor pilots and then send them back to their country so they can train their own folks in-house back when they get here. So they're only here. Poland, for example, is here for 2 to 3 years. We get about 20-ish instructors done, set up back in their home country, and then we fly their 8 F-35s back, and they start training. And they already have 8 more and more F-35s that are going to be back in country that they can then start to train their own folks in Poland proper, not have to use here. So it's just a springboard, if you will, to get them started in the training realm so that they can then jump off on their own 2 feet as a country. The goodness that it brings, though, it allows us to train with them from the initial onset in the F-35 so that they know our tactics, and if we have to interoperate with them in theater, i.e. in Europe for any reason, think Russia and the stuff that's ongoing now, that we are already fully compatible when we show up to kind of use and work with them in any need. The guys go through about 12, it's guys and gals, go through about 10 to 12 weeks of flight training back here to make them qualified. These pilots are very experienced, so they come with a lot of hours previous in a previous platform. So Poland, for example, flew F-16s, which is what you had here in Fort Smith 14 years ago, but most of them know how to fly. So I'm not worried about them talking on the radio or knowing how to fly. I just have to teach them how to fly the F-35, which is a little bit more, if you think of a flip phone, who owned a Razor phone here back in the day? Yeah, almost all of us. And now who loves an iPhone 13, 14, 15, whatever right now? It's much better, right? That's the difference between an F-16 and an F-35. The computing capability, the apps that are now on there. First, did everyone remember how you had to type like 4 times to get to a C? Yeah, that stunk. So that is kind of the betterness that is coming with 5th generation aircraft. 4th gen is what almost all these other countries have. They either have F-16s, F-18s in Poland, or a mix in Germany, and they're upgrading to deter what they see in their threat area of responsibility, mostly against Russia, but Singapore against China, etc., on the threat level that's in their respective parts of the country at that point. The guys and gals fly 2 to 3 times per week. They are basically 12 to 14-hour days with all the pre-study and pre-prep time. And then what I'd really like to get out of it is the instructors here. So I have 6 or 7 right now in our backgrounds. I flew F-16s prior, and I fly F-35s now. I have F-22, so think the air superiority platform for the Air Force. I have guys that flew that prior and now fly F-35s. I have guys who flew 2-seat F-15s. So there's a weapons system officer in the back and a pilot in the front who have 2 crewed capability from before that bring that crew resource management into the fold. And then finally I have A-10 guys, which you guys had 10 years ago. Who are air-to-ground experts prior, and now they fly the F-35. So it's a broad breadth of knowledge base from the U.S. instructor pilot cadre that comes in that allows us to bring what I think is a better training tool to all of these countries, because most of them are niche in their one-off platforms that they had in their country before. Okay. Also, most of us have flown in either Europe or in the Pacific at some point, so we know somewhat what they're dealing with on a regular basis, i.e. the Russia-Putin threat or the China-Xi Jinping threat as far as that goes, and the current threat optics with that. So how fast and paced the threat is moving, what's happening in current ops in Russia and Ukraine, all of that stuff. Most of us have been over there in Europe and in the things, so we understand a little bit better perspective than just someone who is born and raised in Fort Smith and never left Fort Smith and was an instructor pilot, for lack of a better term. Awesome. All right. Why I do this? This is Maddie, the 9-year-old now, and she's kind of trying to do some Top Gun like hand things for you right there. But my dad looks the same age. I look slightly older because I lost some hair. But it's really for the kids and the next generation, if you will. When the A-10s left Fort Smith and the F-16s 14 years ago, it's hard for someone to conceptualize the MQ-9 because you don't have MQ-9s here, you just control them out of here. So that's hard for people to understand because they don't see anything flying, they don't hear it every day. And that's a long time, 10 years to go without that. Well, when we showed up on December 23rd and started flying, and we fly right over Southside High School in the pattern, like the Southside High Schoolers are able to look up and go, hey, I can be a military member. And it becomes more impressionable on them and becomes more of a thought process of a good thing to join the military than where we currently sit in the probably the United States over the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years that we've kind of deteriorated in the confidence level in the military overall. The other reason I do this is just a cool picture. This is not, I don't have a button that puts that cloud out around me, just so you know. I'm actually flying through a cloud on that. But it's the 5th gen, so it's the newest thing that's available. Everyone wants the best shoes, the newest watch, the newest whatever. This is the newest plane, and it is here in Fort Smith, which is pretty cool for such, I say, a small town. Obviously, I know you guys know it's about 100,000 people, but it still has small town feel. And my wife will tell you, we think the crux and the reason that Fort Smith, there's just a different feel to it, is it's kind of the southern part of the Midwest and it's the northern part of the South. And you get the best of both of those worlds, of the goodness of, southern sweet tea, because Midwesterners don't like sweet tea, but you also get the kindness of, your neighbors, you're willing to help each other out. All of those things, I think, come to a hedge here in Fort Smith. And I think that's what we've put our thumb on why this place and why these countries actually, when they come here to visit, most people go, you're going to Arkansas? Like, what? These countries come here and they love it from the get-go because they get welcomed so friendly by the chamber, by Mercy Hospital, by Baptist, by the school system, and willing to help and work with them as they come in overall. Down here, for the old guard, this is Bill Priakis. He's an old guard guy, but the genesis of that picture is we are building on the backs of what you built, sir. So the people that were at the 188th 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, there's some old nuggets out there, don't get me wrong, that are 50, 60 years ago here still living in Fort Smith. They have seen the progression, and I'm not saying that's you, sir. The progression, I haven't seen, they have seen the progression from RF-84s, F-4s, A-10, F-16s, A-10s, to now they're seeing a 5th generation fighter at their little guard base. It's pretty amazing to see, and it, in my mind, should give them pride to know that they built the land that's there, the hangars that are still standing there that we're going to use and make a little bit better, but we're still using the bare bones that were built by the 188th Old Guard from before. And the last one that I would tell you on the right, this is the South Side, North Side football game. Anyone there this past year? Anyone see the flyby that happened? Okay, we did 2-ship flyby right over the top. That's Senator Bozeman as well. Your congressional delegation between Senator Bozeman, Senator Cotton, Rep. Womack, and Governor Sanders do better than anyone I know, and I've been on Capitol Hill as a legislative liaison. Their ability to bring economic impact, bring jobs, bring this defense, a global security defense mission to Fort Smith, and tie it here for many years. There's not a better congressional delegation that does that around the country, I can guarantee you. And the fact that Senator Bozeman's from Fort Smith is fantastic, and this is politically agnostic, I can tell you overall. I just know the people and know what they fight for, and they fight for the people of Fort Smith and what's good in the River Valley overall. Their ability to gel as different personalities and maneuver the space and be in influential committees at the right time right now is phenomenal for Fort Smith and has brought a lot of this FMS mission and what you see being built and the planes here to this community, which just trickles down in the regards to hospital portions, people getting rehab because they're staying here, me getting neck rehab sometime from you guys because I pull too many G's, all of the above, and I'm trying to make some sort of connection here with the group, and I think that's as good as I can get because I'm not going to be here till I'm 85 years old and coming to do care here, but overall that's the brief, and normally I will answer any of your questions to the greatest of my ability, from is Top Gun real to top speed. I've had all of the questions, so let's open it up for questions for the next couple minutes. Come on, someone's got it.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I know that you said they're not bringing their extended family, but a lot of them are bringing their immediate family, which with each one of us in this room, not only can we help with medical stuff, but we can also help with maybe providing a career path for someone in a different area as well. So
I'll speak to that. Some of them will be, I would say it's 50, let me go down by country, 50-ish% maybe for Poland, 50-ish% for Finland, 100% for Singapore because they're going to be here long term. So that capability does bring kids along with them and families. So spouse employment at times will be a factor, which I'm sure some of them are nurses and all of the healthcare realms. The kids portion, I would say, in the high school, I've been to Peak Innovation. I'm sure all of you know about Peak Innovation Center here, which is a feeder into the healthcare system for around here to keep talent in and come out with an associate's degree as soon as you're done with high school, which is unbelievable. And that is an impressive piece to all these countries as they come in as well. And then the last part I would say is UAFS has a great thing. If we have older kids that graduate out of high school with their families but want to stay with their families, which some of these countries do that. It's pretty normal for us to send off a college kid and get them out of the nest and somewhere else. But for these kids, if they're foreign already, staying around here and doing a UAFS or something for degree pieces has all been part of the talk overall. So you're totally correct. What else?
We step outside at 9 in the morning to watch them take off because they go right over our building.
Yeah.
But quite a few of my colleagues want to know where you go. You take off and you're gone.
The airspace is to the east about 50 miles. So think it's I-40, right? That goes to Little Rock. So think south of that, 50 miles to the east, in a block of about 50 by 60 is a training area that we work in. It's called a military operating area. It's called Hogmoa, because we're here in Arkansas. But it also has Razorback Range, which most of you are used to, which is Fort Chaffee proper. So obviously Army comes out there and shoots large shells and guns and all sorts of stuff out there for training. We also we'll drop inert bombs in the Razorback Range down the line and shoot the 25 millimeters, so a bullet like that big out of the jet, for training purposes on the Razorback Range. We don't carry weapons every day to put people's ease at minds at ease, and we don't shoot all the time, but when we do, we go out to a range, so it's confined and in certain spaces and aimed at the ground, obviously. So really it's just east of us by 50 miles. There is one to the north, think Kansas, Arkansas border, that's a little bit longer and skinnier that we use as well. So those are the airspaces that we go to. When we're normally taking off over your building and we turn right, we climb up and kind of climb out to get the noise out of the way so that we're not directly over the city and putting that noise down. Obviously it's noisy in and around the airbase. It's a fighter jet. I'll tell you, it's a sound of freedom. You probably want it rather than not, based on the economic impact and everything that comes with it. But we try and alleviate that to the max extent. Yeah.
Excellent.
What else?
So do the planes belong to the United States or to Poland?
They belong to the countries. So the 4 planes we have here, so we have 4 total. We have 4 planes now. Each country will probably have 8 total, and they're coming off the line at Fort Worth Dallas Fort Worth out of the Lockheed Martin factory. Brand new. Like I flew the one, it had 5 hours. You guys jump into a new car smell. Well, this is new plane, 85 million smell. You better bet. You better bet that tree that they put on the rear view mirror smells pretty dang good. When it says new plane, 85 million, it's their country's jets. So it's not lost upon me that it's their national assets that they've paid for and have loaned to us to train their pilots before they go back home. So it's not like they take them back. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And they'll fly out and go. All these 8 will go back to Poland at some point down the line. Yes, ma'am.
I heard that the planes United States was selling to them. Is that true or
Yeah, I mean, Lockheed Martin sells them. So Lockheed Martin is a United States corporation located and headquartered down in Fort Worth, and they sell the planes to everyone. They sell them to the United States government. They sell them to all these foreign governments. So everyone has bought the planes from Lockheed Martin.
Okay. And also that Singapore was the one build the extension of the airport, that when they're running that.
Yep, Singapore asked for it. They didn't build it, but yes, they asked for the extra feet of it. And Singapore will have the one that you saw here. The video is an A model. Think A Air Force. That's pretty easy. Like I just land on runways, nice and easy, right? Singapore is buying the B model, which is your vertical takeoff and land. So they have a different aircraft. They're also bringing F-16s in, so a little bit more robust, and they're going to be here as a long-term player overall. So their request to lengthen the runway went through the chamber in the city, and then they were able to make it happen. It not only helped what was happening here, but it also helped for American Airlines and the potential for other airlines to come in here someday, which I know you guys have heard for 15 years probably. But everyone's looking at that. And us being here only helps that cause because the number of traffic is something that the FAA and airlines count on. And us bringing up the traffic count only helps us with airline executives when they come in to look at Fort Smith as a potential another place, which I know you had Delta or something back in the day, right? Probably 15 years ago now, 10 years, something like that. So all those things are back in the discussion topics through the chamber in the city right now.
So they would land on your airstrip? Commercial planes would land?
They do right now. We land on the same runway. We land on the long runway, the east-west runway, runway 8 and 26. That other runway, the north-south 02 and 20, is for very smaller civilian traffic that's out there. So think of the folks that are over by Signature that own hangars and have small planes. They can land on any of them, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to see an airliner or us landing on that north-south runway. Yep.
Do you have a favorite type of plane or jet that you fly?
This is a great question. So I flew F-16s prior. I would tell you I would want my picture taken in an F-16 because it looks like a sports car, a Porsche, it looks sleek. I would rather fly in war in an F-35 because it's got stealth and I can go a lot further places and not be seen and stuff like that. So to answer your question, picture with an F-16, wartime F-35. How's that?
Life depended on it.
Life depended on it, F-35 for sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys for letting me come and give you an update. Hopefully it somewhat meshes to how you can see rehab and some senior care stuff and opportunities for kids and spouses that are coming in who are in the healthcare field to be part of the Senior Care Alliance team.
I have one more.
Yeah.
Do y'all do any tours or anything? Do y'all have?
We do small tours. The answer is yes. Have Cindy get with Amanda.
I actually know Amanda very well.
Yep, that's doable, and I would say we're in talks right now to looking at the potential for an air show in 2027, which is probably your best bet. You know what I mean, to get out and see not only the F-35 but everything that's available.
all like setting up at events, right?
Yeah, but like to get, you know, you have, in the state of Arkansas, you have C-130s at Little Rock, right? So your carrier cargo airplanes, that would probably be here. F-35s now here. You have Army Blackhawks. You have a lot of aviation stuff in Arkansas, either through the National Guard or through the active duty, that I think would be a part of that air show. But we're in just early discussions to try and make it happen.
We don't see the C-130s much anymore, do we?
Yeah, they come. They don't. You'll see them every once in a while if they're just
Is that
doing
slowed
approaches
down?
here.
Is that slowed
It's got four propellers out on it. They come through. I would tell you once every 2 or 3 weeks they come by, but they're in the same airspace as us on a regular basis. You know, it's not equidistance. It's a little bit further drive for them from Little Rock than us, but they do use the airspace every once in a while. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. Nice. What'd you do? Doing what?
Awesome, thank you. Y'all give him a big hand. Thank you for coming and sharing that information. I'm gonna invite you to eat. While you're eating, we're gonna go through and we're gonna let everybody here have an opportunity to come up and talk about what they do. You'll be able to make a little bit better connections.
Yeah, sounds
Before we do that, I wanna actually talk a little bit about, again, I wanna say thank you for everybody being here today. Also, I wanna talk about the upcoming conference. Like September will be here, like this, y'all. Summer will be over. It will be September quickly. I know Louise had handed out the conference packets at our last meeting. Is there anybody here who did not get one? Okay, well, I'll give you this one when I get done. As you guys know, the conference is the main thing that we do every year. We just did our Senior Appreciation Day, which I think we ended up with about 200 total, Louise? 190. 190 people showed up. What a great turnout for appreciating, and that was with all the storms we had prior to that. Everything going on, we didn't know what the weather was gonna be like, but an amazing turnout for that. So thank you all for participating in that. And then, like I said, the conference will be here. Anybody tell me what the theme of the conference is this year?
Game of life.
Game of life. We're all playing the game of life. You're playing the game of life too. So we've got some sponsorships. We have different levels. So if everybody has that packet, if you've already done this, thank you. I know some of you did it last year at the conference, signed up for this year. We greatly appreciate that. The conference does take money to put on, as we all know. We are a nonprofit organization, so we're not out there making money, charging people, but we are out there to make sure and educate the seniors in our communities and formal and informal caregivers. And I don't know, I'm guessing most of you here have been a caregiver at some point, or will be at some point in your life, whether it's family, friends, job, whatever. It makes a big difference when you have people that are educated and know that, hey, I can call so-and-so. You can call just about anybody in this room, and if we don't have the answer, we can get you to the right person. So that's what Senior Care Alliance is about. So anyway, I want to encourage you guys to do your sponsorship. Try to do it early. That way we're not scrambling at the last minute. Again, like I said, our next general meeting will be June 25th at Brookdale. Mandy's going to be doing our presentation for us. Our next coffee talk will be at Midtown on June the 10th at 11. And we're going to be doing hot dogs. Is that right? Are we doing food? Yes. So we're going to be providing hot dogs to the residents there and people that show up. So I encourage you guys to come out, participate in these events. This is an opportunity for you to get in front of those people that need your services and actually have a conversation with them one-on-one. So I encourage you to come out for that. We do ask, when you do a coffee talk, that you do bring a door prize. We don't do door prizes for general meetings, but if you are doing a coffee talk, if you're attending, please come and participate. Bring door prizes. People love door prizes. And it don't have to be fancy. It can just be something normal, you know. Ink pens is a big hit, just so you know. Anyway, all right. Does anyone else have any more announcements before we introduce? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, River Valley Primary Services has 2 events coming up. One, we're going to have a grand opening for our new location in Manver clinic, and move to now when you exit at Manver, before you get to South, to 71. It used to be a dollar store. Now is the clinic. They already moved there, and they're already operating there.
This is Mountainburg, right?
Yes.
In Mountainburg.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're going to have a
Okay.
grand opening on June the 9th.
So grand opening on
the
June the 9th in
9th,
Mountainburg.
11 to 12, everybody's invited to be with us and celebrate with us together.
Awesome.
Alma Schaber is going to help us to do the grand opening for the new location. And the other one, some of you already received the email, Northside Clinic in Kelly Highway is going to have the health fair on August the 9th too. Well, which is 9th, I don't know why. August 9th.
August the 9th will be the health fair,
We're
okay?
going to have our health fair. It's the National Health Centers Week, because you know River Valley Primary Care Services, that we are FQF clinics, and we have to celebrate that week when we are a home center. So that some of you already received my email, invite you to be a part of our event. If somebody wants to participate, you receive that email. I want to be here. Give me your business card, and you will receive that email today or tomorrow. And just to sign up, it's free for any vendor. You don't have to just put your table and be part of the event.
So it's free for all the vendors to come. So anybody that hasn't received that email and you're interested, please reach out, make sure she has your information, and that way we can get as much support as we can there.
Yes, so that it's in a good location. It's going to be on the north side Kelly Highway. So that we're trying, to do it every year. That way people get used to all the services and communicate people. And just, it's more than just a clinic.
Right.
We work with a lot of you guys for training your patients and wanting people to know actually the other face of the place that we're sending our patients.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else have anything coming up, going on that we need to talk about? I do know that Louise has some Alzheimer's programs that's coming up, that the support programs. So, and then Brittany, you have the stroke support,
TBI.
support groups.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let everybody go ahead and take turns, come up, tell us who you are, what you do, what you guys have to offer. And meantime, you are welcome to go ahead and get you something to eat.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you again, Cindy, for hosting for us, for providing lunch, and thank you also for coming and being our speaker and educating us on what's going on in our community. All right, who wants to start? Miss Ashley.
Yes, I will. All right. So, hi, I'm Ashley with Mercy Rehab. I pretty much know majority of it on the room. Just a reminder, we're another option for inpatient rehab. We're very proud of our 50-bed rehab hospital that we have located off of Chad Colley. A lot of things that people don't know about rehab is that it doesn't require referral. So, if you know anybody that's at least the age of 18, if they've been falling just week at home, they can call us. We can go see them at the hospital, at the bedside, in a clinic. We would love to help them get stronger. They come into our rehab. They stay about 5 to 14 days. We do 3 hours a day with therapy with them, get them stronger. And our ultimate goal is to get home as independent as possible. Just like Candace said, if someone's calling me and needing help, if I can't help them, I'm going to find somebody that can. So I have a lot of you guys on speed dial. So please definitely share your cards with us, and we would love to help you guys out in the future. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hagler. I'm with Elite Home Health. We provide skilled services in the home. So that'd be a skilled nurse, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. My phone number is 479-494-7273.
Hello, Brittany with Heart of Hospice, Palliative and Hospice Services. Just a reminder, we do have hospice services in Oklahoma. You don't have to have a physician referral if you have somebody that you're concerned about and they need some more services. Please just reach out. We can do that assessment and get the order on our own. If you have any questions, just give me a call, 479-462-7932.
Hi, I'm Cassie Barnes. I'm from the Blossoms in Van Buren. We have skilled and long-term care. I am VA contract. Jessica Hagler is in Fort Smith. We both have female and male units. Let us know if you need anything. My number is 479-670-0073. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mandy Kirkendall, and I'm with Brookdale Fort Smith. We are an assisted living community, and we offer assisted living, and we have an Alzheimer's dementia care secure unit. That's where I personally work and do our programs there. I wanted to give a shout out because I have one of my residents that her husband was in the Air Force, and every time we hear the jets, she's like, "Oh, I just love that sound." She is so excited about it, so I can kind of tell her more about what's going on. So that was a good talk.
There, take this.
We appreciate it. Oh my goodness, really? Oh, she will cry. Oh, that's so sweet. So that's awesome. She's we really enjoy it a lot. So if anybody's interested in assisted living, give us a call at 479-484-5556. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leanne Battles with Access Home Health. I have a history of 30 years in physical therapy, and then I just started sales. We also do skilled services such as physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and nursing. And if you need anything, my number is 479-353-2758. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Crystal with the West Central Center on Aging. I'm kind of also known as the Tai Chi girl, the Drums Alive girl. We do free exercise and education programs. We do caregiving classes. We do healthy cooking, a plethora of topics on anything you want to know more about: diabetes, hypertension, osteoporosis, lots of things. So if you want any of our free services, you can call me at 479-478-8. What is my phone number? 8635. It's like, how fast can I talk?
Well, hey everybody, my name is Jeremy. I'm the discharge plan at Baptist Soul Senior Care in Fort Smith. We're Jerry Psych floor, so think inpatient psych, but for 55 and older. We help with whether it's like depression, anxiety, symptoms related to like dementia. We get them stabilized and send them back. We get referrals from home or from nursing home. So yeah, our number is 479-441-5069.
Hi, we're from Sam's Club. This is Ashley, our optical manager. I'm Erica, sales and training manager. So we're actually here for your employees. So we love our seniors in the community. She services a lot of them over in optical, but we're not like in the medical field, but we are here to give y'all discounts. So if you are decision maker or you want to pass along this information, go back to your bosses or go back to your drawing tables and decide if you would like. I am an outside sales rep, so I come into meetings like this. I present membership benefits and incentives if they are new members. This is an employee benefit that you can offer. It costs you nothing to have me come in. I'll even bring in our world famous cookie trays. So you can have us come in and visit. The discounts are for new memberships, like I said, but $60 for a plus versus the normal $110 or $25 for the club, that's just normally $50. So it's a really good way to give those employees that free employee benefit. Okay, so if you have any questions, I do have business cards. I have more information I can give you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ashley because we're doing something special here at Sam's. Once a year, we collect for Children's Hospital up in Spring, and since Springdale opened up several years ago, all of the money that our club collects goes directly 100% to the Children's Hospital. So she's going to let you know what we're doing with that.
Yeah, so last year was the first year that I actually got to take charge and be over the fundraising. So last year, if you come to Sam's, you may have noticed we have lots of food trucks. We have these really cool banners. So we're making this happen again this year. Last year, there was kind of a rush, so we don't have a whole lot of banners up. This year, we want to add to it. And what it is if you have any kind of a business, you want to buy a banner, it doesn't even have to have a business. All of our associates went in, and we have one that has our club manager on there because that was in our club. We raised enough money to get the banner, and we pasted his face all over it. So, you know, it goes 100% of this goes to Children's Hospital in Springdale. I was able to go tour it last year, and the things that they do there, we probably all know somebody that's been impacted, so we know how amazing they are. So, optical alone, I raised over $15 grand last year for Children's Hospital. So, my goal this year has to be higher. So, if you know anybody who's interested, and we're gonna have the food trucks out. I've already got them starting lined up. So, if you're in Sam's, we're gonna have a big weekend, a food truck weekend. I'm gonna pack out the backside of that parking lot. We're gonna have food trucks. They donate about 10% of what they make to us, so that helps us bring in money too. So if you know anybody interested, this year's design is going to look like this. So we're kind of excited about it. If you know anybody that's interested, I have flyers, my number's on there, Erica's number's on there. Feel free to get a hold of us.
Can you tell us your phone number so people on Facebook can hear?
My phone number is 479-739-5165.
479-252-1454. That's our cell. Text us, call us. Also, a little note on the banners. Sam's Club buys those banners. So again, everything that y'all contribute for those banners goes directly, 100% goes to the hospital because we pay for the banners.
Yes.
And then they're your banners. If your business wants them afterwards, they hang all the way through June of 2026. And so it's a great way to advertise. Because everybody sees it going into Sam's because they're located right up by the registers. So, all right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can go after me. I'm Louise Sponhurst, and I'm the program coordinator for Senior Care Alliance. So just so when you get emails and things, that's coming from me. So feel free to respond to that if you have a question.
Please respond to that.
Yes. The other thing I do in my spare time is Alzheimer's support groups. So we currently have 3 in the River Valley area. They are the second week of the month on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, different times. I'd tell you what those are, but I'm going to be like Crystal. I'll get that all tongue-tied. But I know my phone number. It's 479-353-1864. So if you know someone that, caregiver that needs that support, send them our way because they really do need that.
Hi everybody, I'm with Mercy Crest. My name is Michelle Hernandez. I'm the resident liaison. We do private pay, Medicaid waivers, and we do have availability. We do have a new memory unit. It's full right now, but you can always call and we can always do a waiting list on it because you never know what happens tomorrow on that. But we have a fantastic activity director, Lisa. She is wonderful in our memory unit, and then we got a new one is our supervisor for our memory unit, Sabrina. So she's been doing wonderful work in there too, also. So with our residents here, we do for private pay and independent. We have independent assisted living and memory unit. And on the assisted living, we do, we have all kinds of stuff that we do them. We do their laundry. We also do make sure that they're taken care of and bring up to the cafeteria, to the dining room when they're needed and everything. We do have availability. We have studios, 1 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms. So if you know anybody that needs to come and look at us, please give us a call. My phone number is 479-478-3000, extension 187. Thank you.
All right, so I'll switch hats. I'm Candace Cox with Home Helpers Home Care, and we do the entire state of Arkansas eastern part of Oklahoma. We're in 5 other states. We do a lot with veterans. And like I was talking about before, not only do we provide care for veterans, we also can provide careers for veterans. So they just have to be 18 and up. We do long-term care insurance programs, private pay, and we also have the Medicaid program. So again, I want to thank all of y'all for coming today. Thank you, Mercy Crest, Cindy, for everything, for the food and all of the availability. And I want to thank you again, Colonel Matrix, for coming.
No problem.
And participating and helping us be educated. And thanks to all of you. Is there anything else? Anything else? Anybody forget anything? Anything coming up? All right. Remember, conference. Get ready. Get ready. All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.